Hi everybody and welcome to Sexy Sunday, where we talk all things sex and self-love, and today we're going to be talking masturbating. In this video and in this series I will be talking about adult topics normally in detail, so viewer discretion is advised and just be aware of who you're watching this around. Also, because of the nature of Sexy Sunday, these videos will most likely be demonetized, so to continue to support me, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the like button, and hit the link in the description to follow me on all other social media platforms. And if you want to contact me, if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions or any advice or anything, please check out my description box where I have an email where you can contact me with all of that. But without further ado, let's get into this episode of Sexy Sunday. So today I want to talk about masturbating. I was going to, if you follow me on Instagram, I was going to talk about sex toys and do, maybe a two-part episode about sex toys. But I realized I was kind of jumping the gun. Like, I feel like there's a lot of topics we should talk about before we jump into sex toys. And there was also a lot of sex toys that, like, once I started asking y'all about, what your favorite sex toys are, there were a lot that I hadn't tried yet. And, not that my opinion on sex toys is the end-all be-all, but I think it's important to, try out the things, and then I can report my experience and stuff like that. So I wanted to talk about masturbating. I also just want to say I hate the word masturbating so much, and it obviously has nothing to do with what masturbating is. It has nothing to do with that. It is strictly, like, some people hate the word moist. Masturbating is like the word moist for me. There's something about it that just, maybe it's maybe it's internalized misogyny, I don't know, but like it hits my ears wrong, so I'm gonna try to say it as little as possible, but I very much so believe that we should normalize sex words, so, please don't take it as, I'm trying to not normalize the word or not normalize the act, because obviously I'm trying, but I don't know, I digress. I just hate that word. Spicy self-care is what I like to call it, because to me, that's exactly what masturbating is it is sexual self-care. And it has, especially for women and, people that aren't cis men, it has such a nasty context. It has such a dirty reputation, and it is something that is so normal and is normalized for men. I mean, we all have grown up with, jacking off jokes being in every single teen movie ever. But if a woman masturbates, that's nasty, she's a slut, it's gross, whatever. And again, I think things like TikTok have helped normalize it, and it is being more normalized, just like a lot of different aspects of sex. But I also think it's important because masturbating is also one of those things that, it's not in the norm of sex education. It's not talked about as much as a lot of other things are. And even male masturbation is talked about way more because it's the butt of every joke in a raunchy teen comedy. So I think it's important to talk about, because I think it's important that we explore our bodies, because it can help us love our bodies more and learn our bodies more and learn what feels normal and what doesn't. And it can help our partnered sex. If we know how to have sex with ourselves, if we know what we like, and if we learn what an orgasm feels like before we have sex with somebody else, then when that second person comes in to our sexual space, we have kind of a roadmap. We go, okay, I know this is what feels good, I know this is what I don't like. And obviously it's different with partnered sex, but you have a basis, right? You have your foundation down, if we're talking makeup terms, right? You have your primer, you have your foundation, and then you can put all the fun stuff on top of it, right? I also really wanted to do a video about masturbating because I made a TikTok. I will put it here.
My back's aching, my bras too tight, my hips are shaking from left to right.
My back is aching, my bra too tight, my booty shaking from the left to the right, my back.
But it got a lot of feedback. It got a lot of good conversation going of just oh, well, I've never thought about doing that, or I don't like doing that because of A, B, and C. And I just thought it was really interesting. A lot of people hadn't even, thought about wearing lingerie while masturbating or doing things like that. And then there was just a lot of differing opinions, and I just really thought it was cool that, you know, there's so many different ways to explore spicy self-love. So I want to talk about like masturbating in different levels, because I think there's a different, I don't know, I see it as kind of like an experimentation scale. So the beginning of that scale being just like doing it in your bed under the covers, you know, no toys, just, or maybe one vibrator. And then, you know, the other side of the scale being like lingerie, you're recording yourself, music is on, you're using multiple toys, you're touching yourself everywhere, like all the bells and whistles. And not to say that, you know, this one is worse than this one. I'm just saying it's just an experimentation scale, and, you know, you can go at any points on the scale, but that's just gonna how I'm gonna be talking about it, is in an exploratory way. And I just hope to maybe give y'all some ideas and just kind of normalize talking about it. That's all we're trying to do. This concealer is way too light. Oh no. And yeah, at the end of the episode, I just hope y'all walk away feeling like you could relate, or maybe feeling like you're excited to try some things, or just feeling like you're not the only one that does stuff like that. Because really that's just what this whole series is about. Normalizing talking about sex, and a lot of sex is masturbating. I think the first way most of us do is by just touching ourselves at night with our hands. And I feel like if you're not comfortable masturbating, touching yourself with your hands maybe is too far of a step forward. So I think, you know, if you're still like learning how to be comfortable masturbating, I think starting with a vibrator is the easiest, because it puts something between you and your genitals. It puts something there, and it's not as personal with yourself, if that makes sense. So I think starting with just, you know, a simple vibrator, and again, if you're not super comfortable, or if you're just lazy, like I said, anybody can do any of these at any time. I think starting, you know, we start with maybe a vibrator, maybe just our hands, and just masturbate in bed, you know, at night, in bed, by ourselves. Maybe we watch porn, and I think that's kind of the standard, right? And then as, you know, we go along, we get more comfortable, we experiment more. I think then that's when we add more toys, or listen to music, or maybe like go on top of the covers. And obviously these also all depend on who you live with. If you're sleeping with somebody, you live with your parents, or if you have kids, there's so many other factors, but you figure out how to kind of discreetly and quickly masturbate. I think another way that we can start is in the shower, because in the shower, obviously, we're already naked and we're already touching ourselves. And if you are a person that, you know, lives with your parents or has kids or whatever the case may be, the shower is sometimes the only time you have that's truly alone by yourself. Alone and by yourself are the same things. And you can put on music, you can do all of those things. It's a time of self-care. And I think also, for me, having that time in the shower is the most fun, because you can't be on your phone. You can't really watch porn. You can't do any of that. So it's literally just like you, yourself, and I. It's really just you, your thoughts, your fantasies, and like, honestly, I have my best orgasms when I masturbate in the shower, because sometimes it takes me a little bit longer, but I really just, that's all I have to focus on. And I know that, you know, I'm in the shower. If it takes me 20 minutes to take a shower, that's not necessarily weird, you know? I can just be like, oh, sorry, I was, you know, shaving my legs. So while I don't do it as much as I probably should, I personally love masturbating in the shower. While we're talking about masturbating, this is kind of like masturbating adjacent, but I also think that it is important to look at your genitals in the mirror. And whether that is a masturbatory act for you, like you literally watch yourself masturbate in a mirror, or whether it's just curiosity, or just finding out where everything is, finding out what spots feel good, and like looking at it and just kind of like, for lack of a better word, play with yourself. I think that that can help you know exactly your anatomy. And also, as far as like a health standpoint goes, I think it's really important to look at your genitals and know what's normal and what's not. Because then if something starts to look a little different or weird, or feel different or weird, you have that baseline. So again, while masturbating in the mirror is a great way to really explore and have that intimate time with yourself, I think even if it's not masturbatory, I think you should do it anyways, because it is a way to explore yourself, know your body, truly know your body, and it can help you when it comes to health concerns. So when it comes to masturbating, I think we all get really creative with it. I would hope that we do, because it's really, really fun to get creative with masturbating. I remember when I was younger, because I know a lot of us started masturbating at a young age. And like when I was younger, and I'm not talking like super young, but like when I was like finally like comfortable masturbating, making myself orgasm, you know, like late teens, early 20s for me, I would get super creative. I would put on music, I would like dance in my room, like I would get into it. And I still do that to this day. Not all the time, obviously. Sometimes I just get off under the covers before bed. But I think there can be a lot of like shame surrounding really taking that time for yourself when we deserve it. And also it can be really healing to take that time and relearn your body and reclaim your body as your own sexual being. First off, one of my favorite things to do is to get dressed up. I love wearing lingerie while masturbating. I think it just like, it puts you in the mood. Same with music. Putting on music and putting on lingerie puts you in the mood, kind of keeps you in the mood, and it really just like, I don't know how to describe it. It just like, the only way I can describe it is like, gives you main character energy, right? Like, this is my moment, my time to shine. I am a sexy goddess. And then, you know, I think that everybody should take pictures of themselves. I was on a podcast that I will link down below that we actually talked a lot about, you know, sex questions. And one of the things that the host Layla talked about was just like taking time to just look at yourself naked, look at yourself from all angles, take pictures of yourself, and you can really just see and appreciate your body for what it is. And I think taking pictures of yourself and wearing lingerie and really just looking at yourself in lingerie and really appreciating yourself and how sexy you are is an extension of that. Ooh, this glitter is so pretty. So I think putting on lingerie is one way, or even just sexy PJs, like your nice PJs, you know? Go to bed not just in, you know, your oversized smock of a t-shirt that you use to dye your hair in. Obviously, you know, time and place, but every once in a while, get dressed up, put on music, whatever music gets you in the mood. Personally, I love listening to like metal and stuff like that, I love listening to like metal and rock. Like, I think like that's what makes me, oh God, that's what makes me feel like sexy. Okay, I can't talk. Uh-oh. Okay, full on. I've never used this eyeliner before. I full on had to like stop and take a moment to do this. This is very Chrissy Chalpaka, very bimbo core look. Anyways, it took me a second. So anyways, where were we? So taking the time, taking a night to yourself. And I know for a lot of us, that's hard to do. It may be very rare when you get to do that, but you deserve to make it a priority. As hard as it is, I know it's hard. I know it's hard for, you know, especially like mothers and wives with full-time jobs and kids to look after and all of that. I know it's hard, but I think it's also, you know, again, an important act of self-care. And your partner, you know, you could always share the pictures that you take with your partner, and then it's, you know, a little something fun for your partner too. I digress. This isn't about your partner, this is about you. So putting on lingerie, having your sex toys out, and really just like having those exploratory moments, I think can be really fun, and it takes masturbating to like a new level. It's literally like, instead of masturbating, you're literally like having sex with yourself, which I know for a lot of us, since COVID, we've had to to get good at doing that because we can't have sex with anyone because you know the borders closed a year ago and your partner is Canadian and you've only been able to see them once when you were quarantined together all year. So you just got to make do with getting creative with masturbating because that's all you can do. So like, I understand. I also think that incorporating more toys than just like your vibrator, your dildo, whatever, but like if you're into anal, grab some anal toys. If you like nipple stimulation, getting yourself some vibrating nipple clamps and wearing them while you're masturbating. I think there's so many other toys, and like that's what I mean by multiple toys, is like if you enjoy those things, if they help you get off, frickin' grab them and add them to your arsenal during masturbation. For me, nipple stimulation is something that is like really big in my sex life, and it sucks, you know, having solo sex. And it sucks having solo sex because obviously, you know, you only have so many hands. So something like that is really, really helpful to me to, one, really like incorporate my whole body into sex. I mean, I know a lot of people don't enjoy masturbating, and I don't masturbate a lot because I am the type of person that like, I enjoy sex because I enjoy the close physical contact with a loved one or with, you know, somebody I'm enjoying having sex with. So that's what I love about sex. So masturbating is, you know, it doesn't have that. So whenever I can incorporate my whole body, it makes it feel a little bit more like normal sex, if that makes sense. So, you know, by dressing up, by using different sex toys, by incorporating nipple play, doing all of these things, it makes it more of a shebang. It makes it closer to actual sex. And I think for those of us, you know, especially during the pandemic that have been really fucking lonely, it can help. Again, that's not for every night, but every once in a while, it's fun. I also think, you know, as an extension of that, I think that recording yourself is also really sexy to me, my personal opinion. I don't really watch the videos back, but you always could if, you know, if that's what you're into. But like, even before I started my OnlyFans, I would like take pictures of myself, you know, have like self-timer up and all of that. And then, I don't know, maybe it's the performer in me, I don't know, but it put me into this space where I felt like a goddess. I felt like I was the sexiest person alive. And the great thing about masturbating is nobody's there to tell you otherwise. You are the sexiest person alive in that moment. Also, if anybody dares to tell you otherwise, give me their phone number. I will personally punch them in the throat. But that's also why I really did enjoy doing OnlyFans so much, because it makes you feel, at least it made me feel like recording myself like that. It made me feel comfortable with my body in a way that I hadn't been before. And again, that's not for everybody, and that's totally okay. But if it's something you want to challenge yourself to, I would say give it a try. I actually deleted my OnlyFans, which if you guys want a sexy Sunday about OnlyFans, I will gladly do it. But just let me know in the comments. But yeah, I deleted my OnlyFans, so, you know, it's not something I do forever, but it really was like recording myself masturbating. It was just different. It was so different. It really did just like hit different. I don't really know how to describe it other than it just made me look and appreciate my body and my sexual self in a whole new way. But yeah, so I think, you know, experimenting and figuring out how you enjoy masturbating is key. Whether you enjoy watching porn, or whether you enjoy reading erotica, or whether you like listening to sexy stories. I think, you know, experimenting is key, and again, obviously helps figure out what you like and what you don't like. And it's normal. I mean, even when I posted that TikTok and I saw so many people being like, oh my god, I do this too, or I like doing this, this, and this, it was awesome seeing everybody just be like, oh yeah, I love doing this, I love doing this, this, and this. It was really, really cool to just see everybody owning how they enjoy masturbating. And again, everybody's lifestyle is different, so you know, you may not have that many opportunities. Like, I live by myself, so I could literally masturbate all day, every day. But again, sometimes you don't have that opportunity. But I think it's important that you make those opportunities for yourself if it's something that's important to you. Because also, I know that a lot of people don't masturbate, and that's a-okay too. I still think it's important to explore your body every once in a while, whether that's sexual or not, whether, you know, it's, you know, you masturbating in the mirror, you just looking in the mirror. I think it's still really important to do that because that's how we figure out how our body works. Anyways, y'all, I'm gonna do my hair really quick and then I'm gonna come back and like wrap up all my thoughts. Okay, y'all, hair is done. I am feeling like a bimbo queen right now. I live for it. I know this episode is a little bit more casual. I'm like, while I'm filming these and while I'm figuring out like what I really want Sexy Sunday to look like, I'm realizing that some episodes are going to be more like this. Some episodes, I'm not really going to have an outline. I'm not really going to do research. The way I kind of think of it is like, it's like sleepover style, like where we're just talking. We're just talking. Because also, if we're trying to normalize things like masturbating, it's just going to take talking about it and hearing about it. So that's kind of what I wanted this episode to be, is just more of a casual episode where we just talk masturbation. But going from here, my question is there anything that I hit on that you would like more in depth about? Like I said, I have a lot of different topics that I could talk about, but I'm kind of trying to, you know, flow with this series and be like, okay, well, you know, we talked about orgasms the last 2 episodes, so why don't we talk about masturbating? Because masturbating is how a lot of us figure out how to have an orgasm. And well, you know, a lot of the time we have to relearn every time we get a new partner or every time we introduce something new into our sex lives. You know, masturbating is really the way to figure out how to do it. And I know some people don't feel like this, but I truly feel like masturbating is self-love. It is an act of self-love. It is an act of accepting a part of yourself that has been shamed for years. It's an act of like rebellious self-expression to me, because we've been taught for so long that it is a nasty, dirty act, and it's nasty and it's dirty, but it's fun and it's radical, and I don't know, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here, but to me it really is self-love. It is an act of self-love, and that's why I'm so passionate about, you know, that's why I'm passionate about sex in general, but especially when it comes to masturbating, I really feel like that. And I want, you know, I want people to enjoy themselves. And again, if it's not for you, that's totally fine. That's 100% fine. But I think if you're curious about that, or maybe if you haven't felt like that in the past but want to, I would encourage you to keep trying and keep, you know, breaking down those walls within yourself. And that's really what I feel like, getting more comfortable masturbating. It really is breaking down walls of internalized misogyny, breaking down walls of trauma, breaking down walls of, you know, years of people telling you that you can't do this, that you're not sexy, that, you know, that you're not allowed to be a sexual being, whatever it is. I really feel like getting more experimentary, I'm gonna stick with that, getting more exploratory with masturbating can help break down those walls. That's not to say that every time you do it, it's gotta be some religious experience, but taking baby steps outside of your comfort zone when masturbating can be really rewarding and can teach you a lot about yourself. I think that's where I'm gonna end this episode. I think that's a good way to wrap up the episode. So like I said, this episode was a little bit more casual, no outline, no research, just talking like we're at a sleepover. Again, if you want a Sexy Sunday dedicated to just OnlyFans and all of answering and talking about my experience and answering your guys' questions about it, just comment down below and let me know. If there's any questions that you have that you aren't comfortable commenting, you can always email me. Like I said, all of that information will be in the description down below, as well as all the makeup details will be down below. And just let me know what topics you want me to talk about next. And don't worry, I will still be doing episodes about toys, but I just gotta do a little bit more research first. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Sexy Sunday, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!